Rivers told me on the phone, Richard, do you want to air these things out? What are you and Ruffin saying?
Rivers is a traitor.
Yep.
I can't tell him nothing anymore.
No, look, man, we're the three musketeers back here. Me, Rivers, and Nathan, all for one, one. I screwed that up. You get the point, Dick. What have you been saying?
Oh, man, it's just LSU's here, man. We got in town. I didn't get in town until late last night, about 10 o'clock. Walked into the first hotel bar, and it's everybody that I know from LSU. I mean, this morning I walk across the street to get a cup of coffee from Starbucks, and I bump into Ruffin. And Ruffin, we weren't really talking trash about you. He just said, you sound like you're ready to get to Atlanta. You sound a little upset this morning, like you're just ready to get on the road.
That is, I mean, look, Ruff's not wrong. Your boy is fired up, very excited. I can't wait, Richard. It's been a long time since LSU's been in this position.
It's been in college.
Yes, it's been a long time since we have been in this position. I was a little more recent than you, but I mean, 2007, you were a young man playing in this game. What are your memories about trying to prepare for the SEC championship?
Well, I remember preparing for that game like it was a national championship because if you remember, we had lost the week before to Arkansas in a triple overtime game. Flynn got hurt. Flynn separated his shoulder. So we were going into that game with our backup quarterback. We thought, our national championship hopes were over. So we really took on as this is our national championship. We thought that the best team in the country was always going to be in the SEC. So we were going to go in that game and win and prove we were to be the best team in the country. But, man, it was a game where it was a complete team game. The defense played great. Paraloo came in, made some throws. And the defense, John
Zenon, baby.
6-6. Yeah. It was one of the hell of a game. And I remember the best thing, actually, not on the football field, the most thing I remember is flying back on that plane ride on the way back to Baton Rouge. And we find out that the two teams in front of us had lost. And I thought we were going to die because everybody jumps up. The plane sinks about 1,000 feet. I mean, it was pretty crazy.
Yeah, I remember everybody chanting, "We're going to the ship. We're going." It was wild. It's also wild to think about what has happened to Tennessee in the interim. Jeez, I mean.
Yeah, you're talking about well, it's 12 years ago, and Tennessee was still playing for national championships. Yeah, things can change.
Things can change, which is a great point as to why LSU fans should enjoy this journey for all it's worth. So when you look on the field tomorrow, Richard, I broke it down earlier in the show. I really like LSU in this game. How do you feel?
I've been telling everybody around here that I'm so confident that it's about to make me nervous. I feel really good. Like when I saw the spread, open at 5 or 4.5, whatever it was, get to 7. I'm like, hell, I'm taking that all day. I think they're going to win by 14. I think it's like a 41, maybe 28, 24. But I keep thinking that, and I'm like, the spread's not moving that much. Why am I feeling this way?
Yeah.
I don't know. So I feel really good. I feel great. This is just a great matchup for us. I don't think they can hang with our receivers. Their offense, with being down to their two best receivers, our run game is pretty stout when they got to play. It's just it's a game where we match up really well against them.
And I think I'm in complete agreement with you. Is there a matchup on the field that just kind of stood out in your brain as to being like, okay, LSU this is where they have their biggest advantage?
There's two. I think there's so many advantages in the passing game because they have good safeties. I don't think their corners are great. And their linebackers are okay. I think Clyde has a big game. I think Clyde's going to have one of those games like Alabama, 7-8 catches, maybe 70, 80 yards out of the backfield and receiving, 110, 115 on the ground. I just don't think that they're going to focus so much on our receiving game that they're not going to be able to keep up with Clyde. And I think he's going to have a big day. Yeah,
we said the same thing earlier in the day, man. When you look at it, Clyde had 33 touches for 180 against Auburn and 29 for 180 against Bama. So when you've had to have it, he has been that guy. Richard, when you look at this UGA team, the kind of accepted strength of the team is that Bulldog offensive line. Although I think they've actually underperformed a bit. They are massive, right? Like they are still supremely talented. It just hasn't always come together. I think their systems maybe not putting them in the best positions all the time. How do you feel that LSU's defensive line matches up with that D-line?
Well, I think if they play the way they've been playing the last couple of weeks, they can get after the quarterback. I just think that, that's something I really want to see improvement from the LSU defensive line. And I think you've seen it. I think they're letting them go. Georgia, it's a crazy deal for this year because it's a team that going into preseason, me and Jacob and everybody were like, well, they got the best offensive line in the country. They got probably the best running back in the country. They got one of the best quarterbacks, and none of it's going in their way. I don't know if it's scheme-wise. The offensive line definitely seems to be underperforming, but I think you can say that about the entire Georgia offense.
I mean, it's hard not to view it, though, just from our LSU perspective, though, right, Richard? Like, you say, I don't know if it's scheme-wise, right? Look at LSU's offensive line last season versus LSU's offensive line this season. Both years had the same players. Both years had a ton of turnover, a ton of shuffling, and yet this year has been infinitely better. And yes, the players improved, but beyond that, it just seems like everybody in this offense is being put in better positions to succeed. I feel that the opposite is the case with UGA right now.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt. LSU last year, they were a max protection team trying to keep as many guys in the box. This year, we're spreading it out, 5-man protection, quick slant, throwing hot, getting rid of the ball, screens. I mean, when you have a quarterback that you're confident that makes the right decision, this offense works perfect. And that's what I tell everybody. Like, you better enjoy what they're doing right now because you have to recruit the right quarterback to the system. All it takes is one quarterback that doesn't think is quick on his feet, and, you're back to an 8-3, 8-4 team. I mean, this offense is as good as the quarterback, and right now we're lucky to have the best in the country. Yeah,
I mean, look, I thought Miles looked great last time and last time out, and I think that Miles will be good, but it's like, even if you throw for like 360%, like that's going to be like –
It's hard to follow a Heisman.
Yeah, exactly. Right. I mean, that really is implicit. It goes without saying. And I guess, is football that easy sometimes, Dick? Is it just like – okay, if both teams are supremely talented, all hell held equal, is it just like who has the most badass quarterback?
I mean, think about football. Think about the NFL.
Yeah.
Think about, college football teams. You can't find a great college football team with a bad quarterback. You can't find a great NFL team with a bad quarterback. It all starts with the quarterback, and that's why they get so much praise. They get the honor for winning the game, and they get the blame for losing the game.
And you're a player who's shown up in big games. Obviously, you had a massive national championship game as a young player back in 2007. That's been the most impressive part to me about Joe Burrow. It's not just what he does, but it's when he does it. At the biggest moments, like he is at his best. Where does that, as someone who's also shown that ability, where does that come from?
Well, it comes from his leadership. Everybody looks up to him on the team. I mean, he's the guy. I was talking to some guys on the staff the other day that they said that when guys are cutting up at practice and they might be having a little too much fun, all Joe has to do is glance at them, and he says they melt. He says they melt. They're so scared to piss Joe off. So, I mean, when you got that type of control of the team, it's a great feeling. I mean, and it helps the young guys. Young guys look up to that. They want to be as good as him. I mean, I can remember as a young player when I started making plays, I looked up to Matt. Matt was a fifth-year senior. He was the guy that was, I thought was 10 years older than me at the time. But, it all starts with leadership, man. When you have a guy that you can trust and respect and that you know that he's going to do the right things, it makes everybody work harder.
Well, and speaking of leadership, man, did you see the Wilson Alexander piece in The Advocate yesterday where they talked about how, and I know that when we were in school, we did a lot of extra summer stuff on our own, a lot of the 7-on-7 and Tuesdays and Thursdays, a lot of offensive line drills, et cetera, but these guys all summer long woke up at 10 a.m. on Saturday to do full 2-hour offensive practices.
Yeah, I mean, that's awesome, man. I mean, we did a lot of that stuff with Matt. I remember Matt and Early kind of orchestrated our offensive stuff in the summer. We would go Tuesday, Thursday, 7-on-7.
Yeah.
Fridays we would run together. Saturdays, maybe. I don't think we got too many Saturdays in.
Knowing you and Matt Flynn, no, I don't think you got too many Saturdays in, Richard. I'm going to go out on a limb here.
Stop it. I mean, we did a lot of stuff during the week. I mean, Saturday was a rest day.
You did do a lot of stuff during the week. Reggie's on Tuesdays. Mellow Mushroom, rest in peace, on Wednesdays. What was Thursday? No, Tiger Bar was Tuesdays. Reggie's was Thursdays. Excuse me.
Youngster, you're forgetting. That was more after the season. During the season, it was house parties. We didn't go out to the bar, so we didn't want to get in trouble.
And during the summer, yeah. Oh yeah, I know. Well, I'm gonna maybe
except for after the SEC championship.
Nah, dude, I don't think so.
We shut down. Listen to this. We shut down Fred's after the SEC championship. The plane landed. The entire team went straight to Fred's, and we got behind the bar and started pouring drinks.
I remember that. And then we honored that tradition, but at Bogey's in 2011. I will say this, though. I used to crack up internally when they'd be like, 2010, 2011, they'd be like, don't y'all want to be like that 2007 team? you have to be willing to put in the work. You can't be like trying to party all the time. I'm like in my brain, I'm like, I don't know of a group that ever partied harder than that 2007 team. Like I think they were so good because team building because they partied together.
Yeah, it was all team building. We had a lot of camaraderie. Everybody stuck together. Everybody played together. Everybody worked together, and everybody partied together.
And it's funny because I see a lot of the same in this team. If you look on social media, some of the videos they're making this week, they seem loose. They seem good to go. All right, Dick, give me a prediction on the way out, man.
I'm going 38-21.
38-21 from Dick Dixon. There you go. Check him out. Dick, what's the schedule for game day tomorrow for you?
So tomorrow I might hop on with Stone. You going to be there in the morning?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay.
So I haven't actually told Matt because I've been planning on just showing up at Atlanta and being like, ha, 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 you thought you got rid of me. But I think he heard through the grapevine.
Well, let me know. I'll come hop on with you for a minute. But I got a few shows to do today. Then I got post game tomorrow. I'm gonna have a nice easy morning without the kids.
Hell yeah, Dick. Enjoy it, man. Enjoy Atlanta, and I will see you soon.